Hey guys, SirVern back here. Hey guys, SirVern back here.
Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today I am reviewing one of my favorite games of all time, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Now this is the remake for PS5. I'm going to go over the same 5 categories I always do: graphics, performance, gameplay/story, replayability, then fun factor. Give each of those categories a score from 1 to 10, average it up, and then talk about the game a little bit. So just there won't be spoilers in the game, although this game is like 20 years old. Um, and nostalgia will heavily influence some of the scores. So just keep that in mind. I played this, I think it came out in 2006 originally. I played it on the Xbox 360 and loved this game. I think I also played a little bit on PS3, although it didn't have trophies. So this is the first time I believe that this game has had trophies, which is incredible. This will be a longer review, so just hang in there. But we'll start with the first category, graphics. And I had a hard time ranking each of these categories or giving each category scores, but I give graphics a 9. I think they look really good. They've done a lot of work here. Everything looks awesome. The lighting effects, the enemies. Now, I wrote 10 initially, but I took off a point because I think it's just nostalgia, because the character models aren't the best, but you know, the textures look great on all the armor. You can see like even the bowstring right here. Just there's a lot of detail in the world, in the enemies, the caves, the dirt, debris. Everything just looks really, really good. I think they did an awesome job, and especially I noticed the lighting just looks awesome. Like when you have a fire. What is the word I'm looking for? Anyway, when you have the lighting in caves, a torch, that's the word. When you have a torch or a lighting spell, you can really, really see how just improved the 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 graphics are here. The water right there, like you saw, looks awesome. Anyway, I'll stop gushing. Graphics a 9. Not perfect. It is an older game, but I think it just looks really, really good. Next category is going to be performance. This will be the worst category. Okay, so I'm running this on a PS5 Pro, and it's just poor. It's constant frame drops, some slowdown, just a lot. Just, I mean, almost constantly. You run through this world, you see some pop in, a lot of just frame dips, some stuttering, just pitiful. Uh, I don't know why they couldn't have optimized this better. Like I said, it does look really good. Look at the lighting effect right there. It just looks awesome. And I don't even know what I'm showing you. I put 73 hours into this game. So some of this is really early on, some is later on, but like I said, no spoilers. I play a wood elf. I'll get to that more in the gameplay/story section. But anyway, a lot of stuttering. I had one hard crash, but in 73 hours, that's not like terrible. Uh, but overall, it's just I spawned or teleported outside of a level one time. I can't even remember how it happened, but I have a screenshot coming up, and you'll be able to see. And it's really neat, actually. When I spawned outside of the level, I was walking on top of the corridors. Like these dungeons are all just pieced together, and you can see exactly how the developers built it, just in space. Like if you've ever played the game Dreams, or if you've designed games, you can see exactly how they designed it. Just it's its own little section, its own little map. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll see it here in a second. But performance is poor, so I give it a 6. I wish I could have given it better. Even the load times aren't as good as you would. PS5 in general has amazing loading times, and I know games like this just the longer you play them, usually the poorer the performance gets. But you really, I mean, it's just not as good as it should be for running a PS5 Pro. Anyway, so I give it a 6. The next category I'll have by far the most to say, and this is gameplay/story. So if you have never played an Elder Scrolls game, This would be a good one to start with. Uh, I started off with Morrowind on the original Xbox, was obsessed with the game, fell in love with the game, fell in love with the franchise. Then this came out right at the end of high school, maybe my first year of college, and I just was in love with this game. It's just so neat. You can do kind of anything. I play as a wood elf, and I did this time 20 years later. Uh, I'm an archer. I can sneak really well. So basically, anything in the world, you can steal. You can you know you can kill certain people. You could there's all these factions to join, like the guilds, like the Fighters Guild has an entire quest line. The Mages Guild has an entire quest line. You have the Thieves Guild, the Dark Brotherhood. There's all kind of different missions and quests. I wish I would have gone through and seen how many quests I did. It's a livable world, and yeah, it's dated because like watch this lady right here. This is kind of performance I'm talking about. She just did this over and over and over. So it's an older game. Okay, the voice acting is still good to me, um, but they just kind of stand there and talk. It's just an Elder Scrolls game. I'm hoping the next one really comes out and wows us. But you can see, this is me building my character. This is the most epic moment when you enter into the main world. I won't ruin anything, but the game starts out amazing, and then the gameplay is just you're living this character. There's all these different races. You can see my guy here. I'm a wood elf. I think there may be like 7 different races or different types of characters. They all have like different abilities, and you can really customize your character the way you want to, make them powerful in certain ways. And I did have a problem with this later on, and I'll talk about it. I guess right now in the gameplay. Um, so I don't remember the game being so easy. This is a critique I have of the game itself, and I'll critique this more in replayability. But the longer I played the game, it seemed the easier it got. When I first started playing this game, I was doing every. This is a bunch of screenshots, just back to back, by the way, and you're gonna see that glitch one I talked about. But when I first started playing, I did every single mission you could do. I was not interested. You can see each thing the thing you do the most, like if you're shooting a lot of arrows, your archery attribute's going to go up. If you're sneaking a lot, sneak's going to go up. You get better and better at the skills you use, which is kind of to me more like real life. Whatever you practice, you get better at, which is cool. But back to this. The longer I played the game, the easier it got, and I lost interest. I put probably 40 hours in, and then kind of like hit a plateau where nothing was challenging me anymore. And so I'll critique that more in replayability, but the gameplay overall is excellent. Um, it's just I'm nostalgic for this type of game. It's you can buy a house, you can store items. Now this is where I got outside the map. You can see the different areas where they copied and pasted like different areas of sections to walk down. It's just really neat. But anyway, I'm going to move on. The gameplay is incredible. It's its own unique thing, and it does it incredibly. So the story is top notch, man. This game has a story that is truly awesome. Um, I loved it. I love this story. I had such a good time playing it, and I remembered, like 90% of it, but some stuff, I didn't remember, and it was cool to go back and re-experience it. I did platinum the game. I did probably 75% of every quest in the game, but I did the entire Fighters Guild quest line, Thieves Guild, Mages Guild, Arena. I did everything. I love this game. I put a lot of time into it. I even did the Shivering Isles expansion. I got every single trophy, not just the platinum. But the Shivering Isles I wasn't super impressed with, but I'm not gonna like. I did. It turned out to be better than I thought it would, but I'm not gonna like ding the game, but because of that. Uh, but just keep in mind that like the main story is incredible. Shivering Isles is just something to add to it. You may or may not like it. I didn't love it. I could review that on its own, but if I had to just give that a score, I'd give it like a 7. But anyway, the story is awesome. It ends awesome. The thing is just great. I love the writing. It's epic. I bought the shirt. I should have worn it for this review, but I bought a shirt. I'll mention this in the end, but I got the physical game. When I bought this and started playing this game, it was not physical, which was a huge bummer, but it came physically. It does say internet required, which is a huge bummer, but at least it came physically. That's a whole other story. But the game exists physically, which is awesome. So, gameplay / story for the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion gets a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't care if you agree with me. The gameplay is incredible, if not a little easy towards, midway. And the story is a 10 out of 10 easy. I would recommend almost just playing the main game, go for the platinum, don't do anything else, or just play the main story, just the main quest line if you're not going for the platinum, or put it to hard, because I think it's too easy. That's a critique I have of the game. But I think the gameplay itself is incredible, because you can make it harder if you want to. So, next category, replayability. I put 9, and I knocked it down to 8. The reason it's so high is because, like I said, there's so many different paths. You get to choose a beginning race. There's a whole bunch of different options. Then you get to choose like a specialty, like the sign or whatever. Mine was you gain an ability. Mine was to, once every 24 hours, I could turn invisible. I think it was for 60 seconds. But there's all kind of individual skills. Like there's a cat-like race that can breathe underwater. It's just very cool, well thought out, different ways to play the game, and I think that's really cool. Characters say stuff to you based on the character you've chosen. People remember decisions. People can like you or don't like you. So there's a lot of replayability in this game. Of course, it's not going to be perfect because it's a story-based game. Okay. And once you've played the main story and all of the quests, you will eventually run out of stuff to do. But the thing about this game is I put 73 hours into one class. I wish I would have played like a mage and had like a cool mage build, or a fighter, just a heavy armor bearing brute. But that right there says that you can play the game 2 or 3 different times. Even putting 73 hours in, I may have done 70 to 75% of the quests. I didn't do all the quests. It would take you probably 100, maybe 120 hours to 100%, maybe 150 hours. I don't really know. And that's, playing as that one race. You could play a completely different type of character, and it'll be a different, playthrough. So I think 8's a fair score for this. Will I play it again one day? Maybe. Maybe. If I did, like I said, I would play like a mage's build. And I've already played this game. I think I've played this game twice. So this was like my 3rd full playthrough. But to get the platinum on this kind of hurts the replayability. If you've seen my videos about our platinums or achievements, good or bad, sometimes they're bad, and this may be a case where they're bad. But anyway, overall, replayability gets an 8. Next category and last category is fun factor. I give it an 8.5. I docked it. I didn't dock gameplay / story. I think it's perfect. But I did dock the fun factor category because of the difficulty. Okay, I think I show it in this. I really don't even know what footage I included here, but some of the footage was me doing the arena quest, which is basically a gladiator type setting. You fight, I don't know, 20 or 30 different enemies. They get harder and harder. Well, this wasn't even me like fully leveled up, and it was getting to where I could just stand there and take a ton of damage, and they would just hit me and hit me and hit me. It got to where it just wasn't challenging, and if you take away challenge in a game, it's going to get boring. I love the game because of certain things you can do. Like you have the freedom to sneak, hide. You can. My guy could jump so high. His acrobatic skill was insane all the way up, and I could also. I had these boots that increased that, so I could jump on top. It's almost like cheating in the game. I could jump and use my marksmanship skill and take out hordes of enemies if I wanted to. I told my buddy this, and he thought I was being ridiculous, but I stopped using the bow at one point because it almost just wasn't fun or fair. It just got to ridiculousness because like I could once you get the bow skill, the marksmanship skill all the way up, you paralyze your enemy like 80% of the time. So half the time, more than half the time, I don't know if it's 80, it's a high percentage, but you would hit them and they just float around and you're just shooting their body. It's ridiculous. So I got like just super OP about midway through the game because I did so many quests. I'm maxed out. There's like 8 different trees when you upgrade your guy that you can add points to. You get 5, 10, is it 15 points or something? The first 5 out of 8 or something, I maxed out 100 out of 100. And I got to level 30. I'm level 30 right now after beating the Shivering Isles. So, you get to level 40 in this game, you've maxed out every single skill, and there's really nothing to work towards. So that kind of impacts the fun factor a little bit for me. But overall, let's recap. Graphics a 9, performance of 6, gameplay/story a 10, replayability an 8, fun factor an 8.5. That averages out to an 8.3 out of 10. This game is incredible. Although it didn't get the highest score I've ever given a game because of the performance, this is a must-play game. Must play. If you haven't played Skyrim, play this and then Skyrim, or play Skyrim. These games are incredible. Skyrim is a much improved version of this game, but this game is not to be missed either. It's really, really cool. I absolutely love this game, if you couldn't tell. So just some notes I wrote that could have improved the game, or just some critiques I have of the game. Okay, no photo mode. Come on, man. So this is me fighting the arena, by the way, and this is me midway through my playthrough, and I just show you how overpowered I've become. I think this is what I do here. Like I said, I don't remember what I've done, but this is the enemies they're putting towards me, and this is halfway through the quest line. And you can see they barely do any damage to me. I'm just like standing here, not fighting back. And I could heal. I could summon enemies to fight for me. I can do a lot of different things. I can drink potions. This is him, 10 hits in, and you see what I'm saying? Like, I can just stand here and take a ton of abuse. And here I'm just playing around with the guy. Anyway, no photo mode. The game is beautiful. Like I said, it would be really, really nice to have had a photo mode to really, really capture some of the moments in the game. That would have been nice. There were a lot of glitches. Let's see. They include adaptive triggers, man. Xbox doing stuff like this makes me smile. I think it's terrible for the industry where Xbox is basically just being a publisher right now. But these games are my childhood. I wish they wouldn't have bought this franchise because they're a terrible company. They're awful. But them doing this, you've got to give them credit for. I really appreciate. But all they had to do was put everything on the disc, and they still screwed that up. Internet required. It's probably a download required to play this game. But anyway, back to adaptive. They put adaptive. They used the features of the PS5. Which, kudos Xbox, I'm glad you did that. One thing I didn't mention is the music in this game is iconic. It is amazing. I love the music, and it just gets you hyped up to play the game. I remember when this game released on TikTok, they made these like little mashups of the music and the speeches in the game. It just gives, and I bought the T-shirt, and I was obsessed with this game for 2 weeks when I first got it, and then I took a break, like I said, because I got a little burnt out. But I was not. I'm going to get the platinum in the Elder Scrolls game. I really hope they bring the next one to Xbox or to PlayStation. I'm pretty sure they will. Who knows when that'll come out? Probably when the PS6 is out. But another thing I didn't mention is I played pretty much, I would say 6 hours of the expansion on my PlayStation Portal from the mountains in Gatlinburg. I went on vacation and I went ahead and finished up my playthrough in the mountains via the PlayStation Portal. If you do not have a PlayStation Portal and you travel a lot for work or whatever, get a PlayStation Portal because they're incredible. It's really cool to play games like this, especially if you're playing some kind of. You look at me paralyzing them. This is just ridiculous. But the game is incredible. If you could not tell from my enthusiasm, I love this video game, and I'm so happy they brought it, and I'm really happy they brought a physical version. And that's really all I have to say. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I got. If you have not played Oblivion, play Oblivion. That's all I got. SirVern out.